T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Aric Fiscus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Todd, are you primping and preening?
I cannot get my hair situated for this particular episode.
While the intro to this show is going on, Todd is primping and preening his hair.
Yes, I am uncomfortable with
grooming himself for public consumption.
Yeah,
but you're wearing a hat.
I know, but it's still. I was wanting to go with the backwards hat, but I can't. I'm in between haircuts right now. Like it's not quite long enough, but it's still not. It's you know what I mean. So
it's an uneasy situation.
It is. Yeah.
Follically speaking.
Yeah. I'm just going to go with hat straightforward. Can't go wrong with that.
You can't, unless it's one of those flat brim things, and I would look ridiculous. I actually tried one of those on at a millinery.
Well, they all come flat, or they'll start out flat. This is flatter than I normally wear them. I've been wearing them flatter as I've gotten a little older. I used to do the old like with a baseball where you put a rubber band around it and let it set for a fortnight.
Yes. That's mine has excellent curvature. It's so curved that you can find the radius to it, I'm pretty sure.
Flat build hats should all be burned.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan.
I think it depends on how you wear them. Like I said, I like to wear my my support local hat, and it's pretty flat, but it's not like it's what I also don't like it when it looks like somebody has a toilet paper roll on their head. When it's like, when it's like a perfect circle.
That's a bit much.
Yeah,
that's a bit much. Here's the way I feel about hats. We're starting off on a rabbit hole, so here we go. Here's my thoughts on hats. You know that time where jeans in the late '80s went from acid and stonewashed to a regular wash, and you had worn acid and stonewashed jeans for so long that when you put on the regular ones, you felt like a 5-year-old wearing a pair of Toughskins, and it didn't feel right. That's the way I kind of am about hats. I'm kind of stuck in the way that I like my hat.
You know, I know what you're saying. You know what I've never been a fan of? A fitted hat.
Oh, yeah, they never fit quite right.
No. But I'm so glad the trucker hat style has kind of come back because that's my favorite hat out, and I prefer the plastic snap in the back rather than a buckle or a cloth one.
I'll tell you the other thing I don't like my hat stacked up in stories. I should not feel like Abraham Lincoln wearing a baseball hat where the dome is way up here, and I kind of feel like I should be wearing it. What's that place that used to be at the mall, like at Kenwood? It was a hot dog place, but they wear the big old. Yeah.
I thought you meant the hat store. Well, I'm torn because like some of my hats, I forget what they call. They have like a tall front, a medium front, and a low profile, or like they call it profile. But I have had the ones that are too low to where it just mashes against your head. And like the side profile looks rather silly because it's like
it feels like a yarmulke almost.
Yeah. But the ones that are too tall, again though, I wear my support local and it's a pretty tall, but it's like the old foam, it's like the foam trucker hat, and I really like that.
Yes.
But anywho,
so the bill rolled as a toilet paper roll would be, I call that 1988 ag student, Bill.
Yeah.
I think I would put baseball players in there with it too.
Not
back
that
in,
much.
Back in
Not
my
that-
day in high school, if you played baseball, you had to have a pretty tight roll in the baseball or softball. You had to have a pretty tight roll in the head.
Yeah.
So,
I wanna-
it's like you look over at night before you go to bed, and you see your ball glove with a rubber band around it, and your baseball hat with a rubber band around it. You know you're getting ready for the season.
That is true.
Indeed.
And a hello to Maxwell.
Yeah,
He's
Maxwell.
lurking there.
Yeah. Hey. Is that Maxwell in that picture? Is that sure? Surely that's not Maxwell.
No, that is not Maxwell in that picture. I can vouch for that.
A beard. I know Maxwell's in 7th grade now. I don't think he can grow a beard. I'm guessing. Although I have seen 7th graders with full beards. PJ played basketball against one.
Oh yeah, that's always a frightening thing.
Hello, Mrs. Griffin.
Sure.
Are you taking money, honey?
I got
There's
the
all the
time.
money. Is all the money tooken?
Yeah. All right. Are we done with that tangent right now?
Haberdashery is now behind us.
Move forward.
I'm
Forwards.
going back. The sign to move forward is I turn my hat back the right way now. It's time to move forward.
All right. Welcome to episode 142, the Play by Your podcast. She's back at school doing a little work.
Never seen anybody spend so many hours at a school.
Work. Celia, work it up. Work.
Hang on a minute. I thought teachers only worked 7 hours and then went home to do nothing. What's that all about, Celia?
To do nothing.
Don't you
get
break the
3 months
stereotype?
off.
Yes. You mean, you
Some
didn't use your 3 months off to do your work for the rest of the year?
Some people think teachers do nothing in the 7 hours they're there. Some people espouse that argument. I invite them down to the kindergarten wing in my school.
Yeah.
All right. If you've never been here before, we all let's say we all have a topic. It's kind of Brady's gonna have a topic.
Yes.
And I'll have a game. So that's kind of the way this show will roll. Actually, I think Brady said he had a mini topic and a regular topic.
Yeah.
So-
What I am going to do.
Well, wait a minute.
Oh yeah. Oh, I did it again. There we go.
Todd,
You're letting us down, man.
Sorry.
here we're sagging in the middle.
Well,
www.playbyyourpodcast. Well, it happens when you turn 50 or 16 in Brady's case.
Hey.
www.playbyyourpodcast.com. Check out our website. Check out the things about our show there. We'll talk about that website here again shortly. So with that, Brady, you
I'm
can
chomping at the bit. Okay. So I'm going to I have a regular topic that we're going to do. So just as a spoiler, we have not done Am I the Anuse in a while. And because we have some newbies out there, I understand to start watching us. When we say Anuse, I have been asked why we say that. And
I've been asked why you say that?
I've been asked why we say that. So if you go to www.playbyyourpodcast.com, you will find a list of our isms. But to make it long and short, we say the word anuse instead of anus. And the root of that was a ridiculous commercial and product back in the day. It was a hemorrhoidal ointment called, that was me chirping. I'm sorry. My motion detectors, the cats must be setting them off again. But anyway, we say Anuse because this hemorrhoidal ointment on the commercial was called Anusol, like they were hiding where it goes. So, a lot like we are so proper that the word anus is offensive, so we mispronounce it Anusol to try to if there was a toilet paper brand and it would be called Po-Op wipes, we still know what it is, no matter how you mispronounce it. It's spelled the same. So,
wipes.
So anyway, Anusol was not fully us. We know where that product went. But anyway, that is coming. I'm going to do a mini topic because I found this interesting, and I would like our regular earbuds to chime in on this. I found a thread that I found interesting. It's called Pointless Stories. And we all know.
Don't we do those every weekend on this podcast?
Oh,
every week on this
indeed.
podcast?
Every time I open my mouth, I've been accused it's a pointless story. I bloviate to hear the sound of my voice sometimes. So
I love that word, bloviate.
I do. But these are just pointless stories that are just kind of like interesting. And sometimes we know the pointless stories could be some of the best ones. Like this one, and I'm sure this is going to probably kick off a little discussion. So I'm going to read this pointless story, and this will be our example before we get to Am I the Anuse? So here we go. Stranger found me calmly sitting in the driver's seat of his car. And here we go. This was at a shopping mall as I sat. He approached from the front with groceries, and when he got close enough to see me, we made eye contact, and he was wearing the most confused look. You'd expect someone to give just, is the most confused look for somebody to get if you're just sitting in your car. I don't know what was going through his head, but my calmness must have really sent his brain reeling. As he said nothing, and he went to open the rear door to put the groceries in the back seat, perhaps as he buys his brain some time to remobilize and figure out what the heck's going on, except upon opening the back door, he realizes his mistake. This was not, in fact, his car. He closed the door and said nothing and walked off. This was about 2 years ago, but I still think about him, especially why he simply proceeded just to put the groceries in the car first. So the person was sitting in the car, and an old man made eye contact, looked confused, and opened up the back of the car and put his groceries in the person's car.
See, I thought when you first read it that the person was purposely sitting in the wrong car.
No.
So the whole time I'm not getting mad at this person, thinking, why are you doing that? Are you doing it just to be an Anuse?
No.
But I get it. I have never gotten in, or I've never done anything. But I have opened the door to the wrong car before in a parking lot.
My mother drove the wrong car home from church.
How's that happen?
It's even going to be more remarkable when you hear this. So at church, her and her friend Pat had the exact same identical. See what I did there? Blue Mercury Sables. Identical.
They were crazy about a Mercury.
And her car, this is pre-beeper, unlocked the door. It started the car, and she's sitting here thinking, why does my seat feel weird? This car smells different. She drove it home, and about 15 minutes later, Pat and her family pull in the driveway, driving her car, and they switch.
Ah, that's interesting.
So they didn't swap key fobs accidentally?
There was no key fob. This was the days before key fobs. This was the old kind where you had to put it in and turn it. How remarkable is that?
Well, though, that's something I got to say. And maybe I'm going to show off my lack of intelligence here, but I'm used to that. Was every key different? Was every car keyed differently back then? When you had an actual key? I assume not.
Well, it just makes me wonder, to quote Robert Plant, what happened? Like that probably, but I'm amazed that it started the car.
Do you guys know that, to be sure, though, that every key was different? Every car was keyed differently in the actual dash, and they're in the start.
I just don't know. I know a couple of our earbuds probably would know this. Somebody like Howard, William McLean, and Gary Troutman, and a few of our Joey would probably know this.
Probably.
So, but yeah, I found that.
I've never thought of that before. I have walked up and opened the door, and only when I saw the interior realized it wasn't my car, which is not very bright for somebody to just leave their car unlocked like that. But it's happened.
Yeah. True.
I mean, or have you ever done the thing where you walk up to your car twins and you don't open it, but you sit there disgustedly wondering why your key fob won't unlock it?
Yeah. And
you start getting ticked. Because I found that there's about 4 identical black Hyundai Tucsons out there in the area.
Well,
and they happen to be a Kroger.
I was going to bring this up with my topic last week, but it kind of plays a little bit into this as well. Aric, I never told you this, but about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I'm not sure. At Kroger, I parked, and I thought for sure you and PJ were sitting beside me in the parking lot. So much so that so I can't remember. I think they were like backed in, and I was this, and so no, it wasn't, because I thought whatever it was, the PJ doppelganger was closest to me, and I was coming around to get a view of you, so then I could say hi, have you run your window and talk. And as I rounded the car, I saw that it wasn't you, and so I just went in. But I mean, I was this close to like coming right up to the window and to talk, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. But yeah, so at least there was somebody that resembled PJ out there. I didn't see the guy didn't resemble you once I got over there, but it was close enough when I first pulled into where I thought it might be.
So say that would have been truly uncanny if both of our doppelgangers were together.
That would have been.
Yeah, would have been. That would have been freaky. Or worse yet, this kind of reminds me, have you ever thought you saw somebody you knew and you make a wild gyration to get their attention? They turn around and it's not them.
Oh, yeah.
So you're like, that embarrassing moment of realization.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho.
So I'll give you one more quick little thing before we go to AITA. And this one's
just one more thing before you go on. You were talking about taking your key fob and trying to open the car, and the car doesn't open, and then I assume at some point you realize, hey, I've got the wrong key fob, right? So the look on your face.
I didn't make a mistake. But my first, because, you know how us men are, I didn't make a mistake. The darn key fob wasn't working. The battery's obviously out. So it couldn't be my mistake. It has to be something wrong with it. And
Todd.
Is Todd making Kermit face?
I had to hold that before you got back to the screen.
Here's my awkward acknowledgement face.
Gotta watch a gnat fly into your mouth.
Yeah, or your mouth. Celia asked, aren't we all sagging in the middle?
At a certain age?
Some more than others.
Yes.
Yeah. Mikey?
Terseness is a curse.
Oh, Mikey.
Curse the terse.
Curse the terse. Hey, Mikey.
Hey, Mike.
I haven't seen you here before, Mikey. Welcome.
I just say that this is a new earbud. Hopefully we keep him around with weird. Now, this is my last pointless story. That just gives you the idea. My girlfriend hates my video game girlfriend. So he plays a video game called Baldur's Gate 3, and his character has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend hates her because the video game girlfriend is too attractive.
See, I didn't go where I thought it was going to go. I thought he was like playing online with somebody.
Oh, wait a minute.
Not the character in the game, but an actual person.
No, actually, it's actually an avatar. That's an interesting point. But this was actually a animated girlfriend.
Right.
So are you ready for the main course?
I am.
Yep.
Pink
All
is
right.
ready.
You called down the thunder, and now you got it. What movie is that from?
Oh, I've heard it. See, now I've lost track of the original.
Give us a year or a decade.
90s.
Give us a genre.
Western.
It's Tombstone.
It is Tombstone.
Yes. Sorry, when you don't go with the skin that smoke wagon, I lose.
Also,
skin. That's what I messed up and said that one episode, wasn't it?
Smoke that
skin wagon.
That's a whole different thing right there. I'm also paying tribute to Stuart.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
His wee beady eyes.
With his wee beady eyes, the Colonel.
with his wee beady eyes.
All right.
I visited the Colonel earlier today.
Oh, did you?
Are you craving it fortnightly? Hello, Savannah.
Hello, Savannah.
Savannah. Oh,
Hi, Brady.
daggone it. All right. Now, as soon as I say this, I lost my spot. Okay, here it is. Sorry. Am I the Anuse
Yes.
for telling? Am I? We could probably do this for half an hour and amuse ourselves tremendously.
Just every time you ask that, the answer is yes, and then we just laugh for the next 10 minutes.
Right.
That's affirmative. Am I the Anuse for telling my 29-year-old girlfriend that for telling my 29-year-old girlfriend that this doesn't make any sense.
You're going to learn. This is your first time doing Am I the Anuse, and you're going to learn how fun it is to try to read these for the first time ever on air.
Well, yeah, I've done it one other time, but this one is just awkwardly. So let me try this. Am I the Anuse for telling my 30-year-old boyfriend, and this person asking this question is a 29-year-old female, that his ex's pets are not his children?
Okay, well, let's hear it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. It just says that it really, honestly, weirdly, it doesn't give a lot. It just says that my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend, they had pets when they lived together, and he treats the pets as they are his children, but they're his ex-girlfriend's pets. Like, I'm even guessing, it leaves out this detail, but I'm going to go ahead and inject this into it. I think those pets belong to the girlfriend before this boyfriend was in the picture. So they're his ex-girlfriend's pets, but he thinks they're like his children.
So they were not community property; they were hers.
Correct.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Well, I want to say though that you will not find. I'm going to get canceled already on this very first topic. You won't find you won't find somebody that loves a good dog as much as me. I'm more than me. How's that? I'm a dog lover.
Oh,
I'm a dog lover. But I would go as far as to say the fact that they're your pets. First off, they're not your children. So right off the bat, I have a problem with it. Like, are my ex's ex-girlfriend's pets are not his children? Is that what it said?
Yes.
Yeah. No, they're not your children because they're pets.
Yeah.
And now I anger all the people who treat their pets like children, and I treat my pet like a child. But I also can distinguish the difference between an animal and a human.
Oh,
so
yes.
That's as fair as I can say it without really angering people, but
without really getting canceled.
So I have a problem with the whole wording of that. Like, I mean, before we even get into the whole ideas of community, like Aric was talking about, let's just call it what it is. They're not children at all. So
by the way, we've had an influx of people into the room. So chime in, please.
Here comes the peeps.
All right.
But I'm going to say, I'm not going to call her the Anuse because, we don't know a lot of backstory, but given what we're given, I'm going to guess that if these pets were still living, that maybe this was not a super long-term relationship. You know what I mean?
So is there more to the story? What did he do?
It just said he treats them like children.
That's it.
Let's see. I'm gonna back that thing up and
beep beep beep.
Don't do it, Brady. So are they sharing custody of these pets?
I'm guessing yes.
But there's no more to the story than that.
No, that's it. That's what's fascinating.
There's no scenario.
This is pretty open ended. I don't mind this.
Pretty open ended.
Yeah.
What?
I don't mind this type of Am I the
Yeah,
Anuse
I want you to inject your worldview into this. What's going on?
If they're sharing custody of an animal, I have a problem with it already.
It's your weekend. I need Mr. Mr. Foofy Pants. But
well, it's different if it's a continual thing. Like if he was asked to, okay, can you go take care of my pets when I go out of town here? And he does one time. Hey, that's one thing, whatever.
Well, the girlfriend obviously has sorry, Aric, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
But if it's a weekly thing, if it's a day on, day off thing, I mean it's
pretty extreme. I love my dogs, man.
Here's the issue. Let's go deeper. So the girlfriend clearly, and I'm not going to say she's wrong or right. I'm not going to chime in on that. She doesn't want him having any connection with his ex, and I think that has
nothing about the animals. It's about the connection.
Yes. It could be anything. It could be, but I really do think that if these were real human being children, that this would be a different story.
True.
Because I think obviously at that point she is dating someone or whatever who has kids from a previous relationship, marriage, whatever. I think more sensible thinking comes in, more realism, as opposed to, okay, so you're still going to be having a relationship with your ex because of a dog or a cat or whatever it is. Did it say dog? Gerbil? I don't know what it is.
He just said pets.
Okay, let's hope it's not a gerbil.
I went this way on purpose because it was so open-ended, and I was curious to see how we did on the fly by putting in our own spin.
But do you guys agree that this would be different if they were children?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Well,
it better be.
Let me give you a for instance on that note. Okay, let's change the scenario to children, to actual human children that are not their children. They're her children. However, they dated. He bonded with the children, which happens. They break up. He still has a bond with the children. She may take advantage of that bond with the children. Say, hey,
do you mean the mom?
But yeah, the mom. Can you pick up my kids? Can you keep my kids while I do this? Can you see
a glorified babysitter?
There you go.
Nanny.
And then I would understand the ex-girlfriend being upset.
But does that change the scenario? If it's pets or if it's children, the same scenario, does it change?
Oh, heck yeah, better because they're children.
Well, it only changes because there are human, like that human aspect of it. But I still would be more apt to side with the female. Again, if he's being abused by it, if he's being not abused, but I was
walked over.
Poor choice of word. If he's not being considered, if she's not being considered about her asking him, because again, at that point, is he just a babysitter? Is he just is she using his connection to the kids to get free?
All right, let's change the scenario again. Let's say he is doing this of his own free will. He is seeking out to do things with those kids, taking places. Mom has no problem with it. She's not seeking him out, but he is offering.
Man, that human connection there. Once you make that human connection with that child, that's different. That's a different, you know what I mean? Like whether they were his, whether they were married, and also depends on how long. But once the connection's made, I don't know if we can put a time frame on that. I think it does change it. It does change it. If he's doing it if he's doing it on his own free will, I think that the girlfriend is out of line by asking him to stop seeing the kids.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, she is the Anuse.
Yeah.
But in no other.
Exactly. Yeah. But the fact that these are dogs instead of or pygmy goats or some tarantulas, garter snakes. Who knows what these animals are?
And I want to be clear. I treat my pets like children. I mean, they are my babies. But I think what this comes to is the whole X angle. I know we in Todd, I know how you treat your dogs. They are like your children. But I want to be clear. I want to clarify that the children, the pets aren't children. This is adding the human X sharing custody element. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of like, I just want to, I know what you're cooking there. I know what you're cooking.
I mean, and I have no, and I want to say as again, I don't want to be like insensitive to maybe people who can't have children, who obviously love their pets very much. I don't want to be, it's not my point at all, because again, I get it. But at some point we still have to understand the difference between a human being and a dog. Some would argue that we don't deserve dogs and that dogs are better than human beings. I mean, there are arguments for that, but
dogs are examples of unconditional love.
Yes, they are.
My dog is happier to see me than my children when I get home.
Yes.
So, okay. So we are going to go. This is a strange one, but a funny one. And I cannot wait to see your guys' faces and all my earbuds out there. I am, I wish I could see everybody's faces.
Real quick, can I chime in on Richard? Richard, hello, Richard. I don't know if
Richard
up there, but
Richard.
Yeah, and actually, I just saw where Savannah mentioned. And Savannah, I hope my clarification on that is suffice. I actually didn't see her comment, but again, I'm not being insensitive to that. And
by the way, she stated because some people can't have children, their pets become like their children.
Yeah, which I acknowledge that and everything, but I still think there's a situation where you can't be connected to your ex's pets for your entire life once they're an ex, your pecs. But anyway, Richard mentioned that the Three Amigos, he calls us the Three Amigos. So that got me an idea, or gave me an idea for our next shirt. We should all be standing there doing the three, the various poses of the Three Amigos dance. And then I want to be telling it's a male playing joke, because that's one of my favorite jokes in a movie ever.
It is. I love that movie. All right. Are you ready to be bewildered?
And bewitched and befuddled.
Am I the Anuse for taking away my wife's trail mix and insisting she finishes the old one first?
At the risk of
take out trail mix and put anything else in there.
All right, here it goes. My wife and I are patrons of the lovely upscale grocer called Costco. Boy, that's a really self-important way of putting it. But anyway.
I wouldn't call Costco upscale.
I feel like reading the rest of this in Thurston Howell's voice.
Oh, love it.
There is some wonderful, sweet trail mix from Hoodies, the peanut butter chocolate mix. This has little peanut butter cups, pretzels, and chocolate M&Ms. Chocolate and peanut chips and peanuts in it.
Solid.
It is solid. So they managed to make a perfectly balanced snack. Every blind handful is perfectly proportioned. And without fail, every time I come home a few days after we have spent $11 on a new bin of mix, there is a bin full of peanuts, some peanut and chocolate chips, and more peanuts. She eats the peanut M&Ms and the peanut butter cups and the pretzels. It's just a bin of 80% peanuts, and she moves on to the next one to pillage it. I've given her a hard line from the previous one. I'll take out the new one, and you won't see it. The new one is being kept for myself where the ratios aren't ruined, and I can enjoy it. Am I the Anuse?
That is outstanding.
That
is absolutely outstanding.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I know in today's world, you got to walk a fine line, and I don't want to get anything explained to me, but that's marriage right there too. Now, there are going to be people that say he's an absolute Anuse because he's telling his wife what to do, what she can't do, what he's going to take from there. But that's marriage. Tell me that is not
Give and take.
But not only that, but just the little things that aggravate you that they really have no business aggravating you. And it goes both ways, I might add. But my take is she's like a cat. She wants fresh food. If the food's been sitting there too long, she's not going to eat it. But just buy the components separately and make your own trail mix, and then she can eat what she wants before she can make her own little mixture.
How about this? Why don't she just get a bag of peanut M&Ms and a bag of pretzels and eat them?
That would work too, but
and leave my parts of my perfectly balanced trail mix alone.
Well, when I was up visiting Ethan, or down visiting Ethan, whatever, over visiting Ethan, a couple weeks back, in one of the markets he went in, of course he's not listening to me. I'm like, why don't you buy this? Why don't you buy this? Why don't you buy this? Well, over on one whole wall was all like, what do you call it? Like by the pound, like where you could get, various, and they had the baggies. Yeah. And I told him, I said, man, over there, if you look, they have trail mix. They had like 3 or 4 different trail mixes, but then they had several individual components of trail mix by themselves.
Oh, so you could make your own trail mix from the dispenser. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, same way with Chex Mix or Chex Mix. They had like the individual Chex Mix. Chex Mix. They had individual components of Chex Mix, which again is perfect.
And you know,
like you don't have to get those little rye dishes, those little rye warped frisbees and things.
Yeah, that taste like morning mouth. Yes, those are horrible. You're sitting there eating Chex Mix. You're enjoying this perfectly seasoned Chex. You're enjoying the peanut or whatever, and then you get that little rye bread artifact from 1912, and it tastes terrible, and it'll break a tooth off.
But yeah, and it's misshapen to where it's hard to eat. Like it won't lay flat on your tongue. It's like somebody took a piece of rye bread, shrunk it, and then twisted it, and then dried it.
Yeah, like a shrinky dink that's been twisted.
Yeah. See, not too long ago, I sent a meme. I believe I don't know if I sent it to you guys. I know I sent it to Celia about which one she would take out. You had to remove one, and I said the rye chip. Now Celia said one of the pretzels because there's no sense in having 2 pretzels in the Chex Mix, which I can see it. I can make an argument for that. You got the round pretzel, and then you got the little pretzel,
the rods.
Rod.
Well, do they differently season each pretzel in the mix? Like, is one like a traditional pretzel and one's like one of them godforsaken honey mustard pretzels?
I don't know. I like a honey mustard pretzel. I got to be honest. I love a Snyder's honey mustard pretzel.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I just like to lick the seasoning off of them, they're good.
Here's a visual. Todd
Right.
pretzel.
So the first thing I will say about this scenario is I don't know that my wife loves me as much as this guy loves trail mix. As a matter of fact, I'm sure she doesn't. I'll just leave that at that. However, I will staunchly say that this man is not an Anuse. Pillaging the trail mix or the mixed nuts, same deal.
When somebody pillages out the cashews,
yes,
the peanuts, and they only leave walnut and stuff like that.
Yeah, or they leave the peanuts too, because it's like 80% peanuts anyway.
Let me throw this at you, Aric. I want to throw a little curveball at you. So choke up on that bat and let's see if you can hit it. We've talked about this before. What about is that no different than the Esther Price or the Whitmans or whatever picking through the nasty ass coconut candies or any other candies that aren't? I mean, how's that different?
Same. It is
except it's individual. Places,
because then you're left with all the crappy candy. But in trail mix, like I said, so in the Am I the Anuse, it says this $11 box of trail mix. The wife continuously picks out, like I said, all the M&Ms, all the the good stuff, the chocolate stuff, and just leaves nothing but nuts. And he's like,
Yeah, but I don't think that, like, going back to the candy thing, I can think of very few scenarios in life that leave me more disappointed than when I bite into a piece of extra price and it's coconut or something. Like, because think about it. It started when I was a kid. And now as an adult, there's not one time where I don't utter an F word, or a 4-letter word at least. Can you guys, like, if you bite into this coconut, there's no way to keep a. Oh golly gee, that was bad. That was nasty. I mean, no, it's
Willigers, that's unpleasant.
I just thought of the greatest prank ever. You go and you pillage the Esther Price candies, except for the coconuts, and then you move them to a different spot on the map.
You move them to the caramel.
Yeah.
And then Todd takes a bite of it. And it's not only F words, it's probably murder.
Oh, yeah.
But
I know what you guys are saying. And again, I think that we all can agree. I saw where Celia said she doesn't blame him. So at least we have one reasonable person listening, as far as like that. You could look at it and say, no human being has the right to tell another human being they can't have the trail mix. But bottom line is, they're husband and wife. If this were flipped, it has nothing to do with male, female, husband, wife. If this were flipped, I would feel the same way.
Well, and you said reasonable person, but then she goes on to say the rye chips are the best part.
Well, you had your moment, Celia. I mean, it lasted 2 comments.
Savannah agrees.
Yes.
Savannah and Celia.
Okay. All right. In Savannah, I'm going to stick by my original comment. If she pillages all the candied items out of the trail mix and leaves the nuts, she should just buy a bag of peanut M&Ms.
I've been known to pillage the M&M along with the raisin part with a couple nuts. I like my ratio. So okay, if I'm only picking out chocolate goodies out of it, then I'm an Anuse. But what if I'm just assuring that my ratio is chocolate and raisin heavy? Is that the same?
Well, no, I'm going to go that's the intent. If you want a well-balanced trail mix and an unbalanced bag of trail mix, that is not being an Anuse. But if you're just picking the good stuff out to heavy up your ratio and leave behind the nuts, yes, you're an Anuse.
I do that, but I mean, there's no way you can't heft up your ratio without messing somebody else's ratio up.
That
you know
is
what I mean?
True.
Unless that person wants their ratio to be heavy on the sunflower seed nut, peanuts or whatever. Yeah, but I do.
And then you have the yin and the yang, and it's all good.
I have actually calculated my ratio. What I like, I prefer 3 M&M style candies, 1 peanut, and 2 raisins. That is the perfect.
Isn't that a George Thorogood song? It's after the 1 bourbon, 1 whiskey, 1 beer. This is after the bar the next morning, where you 3 candies, 1 pretzel, 2 nuts.
No, 1 nut. It was 1 nut, 2 raisins, 3 candies.
Okay.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect trail mix ratio. None of that other funky stuff in there. No sunflower seeds, no pumpkin seeds, no seeds of any kind. I'm not a bird.
No Keno nuggets.
Bird. I don't mind a good like yogurt covered, like a craisin or a raisin dipped in the yogurt. Yeah.
Like, it's a mentally ill raisin. It's crazy.
What about you, Aric? What do you prefer in your handful of trail mix?
I don't know. I like various trail mixes. I and not heavy on the peanuts at all. I don't know, I like your ratio. That's good.
Yeah. But peanut goes a long way.
But you said M&M style candy. That can be
that can be a risky proposition.
I know you guys. This came up a few episodes ago. You guys have a problem. You guys are hoity-toity, holier than thou when it comes to your M&Ms.
We're M&M snobs.
I have no problem saying that. I do not want a fake M&M in my
Feminem.
It's like and this goes back. You said that goes back to your childhood. This goes back to my childhood. You get that plastic candy cane thing. You open it up, and there's a fake M&M.
And
fake
all it
M&Ms.
is candy coating on a slightly chocolate flavored piece of wax.
Exactly.
All right. So I want you guys. So this Christmas, we need to do an episode. Let's go ahead and agree to it right now, because we usually do a few Christmas episodes.
Yeah.
We need to do one where we go try to get different Christmas goodies and see if those are as bad as you remember, because I don't think they're as bad as you remember.
I still remember $1 block of chocolate that I got at Kmart one time when I was probably 6 years old. I bought some baseball cards, and it was a mere like a quarter, and it was this big old block of chocolate, and like that, my friends, is a deal. It's like a quarter pounded chocolate, and I took the wrapper off, and I took a big bite of it. Might as well have been paraffin or soap. There was no chocolate goodness. It was just it was chocolate looking soap.
Well, have you had the Hershey M&M looking things in the egg?
Yes, a Hershey M&M is great. A sixlet is acceptable, but an M&M is fine.
That's a poor man's M&M. A sixlet is.
Well, at least it's
round.
Not a J&J. It's a few letters down the alphabet.
But
couldn't afford the J&Js, but we'll get the M&Ms.
Have you had the Hershey's, like, because they've had the candy canes that have the Hershey's M&Ms in them in a long time.
Yeah.
But have you had the Hershey's, like the big? It's like a big giant M&M looking, but it's Hershey's.
Yeah,
you had those.
Yeah. Those are excellent. Oh yeah. It's just like a big old ball of Hershey with a coating on it. Yeah. That's tremendous.
Yeah.
I don't know how Mars can't sue Hershey for that, because it's basically an M&M.
The same reason that Chef Boyardee and Franco American have gotten along all these years. There's
just
two
doesn't get along.
SpaghettiOs.
Franco American. I haven't heard Franco American in 30 years.
And what's ironic about that? Franco American means French American, and Chef Boyardee was obviously Italian.
Yeah, but there are literally two foods called SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
And how did they get along? I mean, how did they manage to pull that off? And nobody's
spaghettis.
You know,
because no one eat either one of them.
Contraire, mon frere. I love
Franco American vein.
After they turned 8.
Now, I will say in the Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs with the meatballs, I love those as a kid, but I got a can of them. I was hungry one evening, and I got those out. I got to tell you, I'm not sure what that meat is in there.
It's not real meat. It's just
because it says
some
meat,
sort of balls.
but it doesn't tell you it came from a cow. I'm pretty sure it's weasel meat in a ball.
It's mongoose balls. It's prairie dog balls. Yeah,
but
well,
that can be pretty questionable.
So this is not on topic at all, but
imagine that.
Yeah, right.
So the ravioli. Now you have 3 different ravioli. Well, more combinations than 3. So first off, you have 3 different sizes of raviola in a can. You had the mini raviola, the regular size raviola, and then you have the jumbo raviola, where there's actually about 4 of them in the whole can. And then you have the meat stuffed or cheese stuffed. So which camp did you guys fall in?
Meat camp. The cheese. Not that they're terrible. Now I like a good cheese ravioli, but I don't like the Chef Boyardee kind.
They have a bit of a sour taste.
Yeah.
But I don't mind any of the sizes.
No,
I don't mind the mini, the mini, the maxi, the midi.
I've never turned down a raviola because it's size. No, I shan't have the mini. I demand maxi size ravioli.
But I will say,
he does that.
If you're going to go with a cheese filled in a can, the mini's the way to go because the ratio is better.
There's that word again.
Life's about ratios.
All right.
That whole thing started on trail mix.
It did. And look what trail we went down. We mixed it up. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I think I got time for one more. And oh my gosh. Once again, this title says it all. I went for a certain vibe tonight. Am I the Anuse for not providing my husband with his favorite spoon? So strap in, gentlemen. Here we go.
One of these days, you're going to read, "Am I the Anuse for messing with my friend's dad's breakfast spoon when he was
Breakfast spoons. When
he was in bed?"
I still imagine him pouring milk on a flipped over bowl, because he's on autopilot.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. I'm reading from this thread. I, 34 female, and my husband, 35 male. We have been married 3 years. Anyway, this morning we got into a disagreement. We always have coffee together first thing in the morning before we go to work, and I guess you could say it is a ritual. We take turns making the coffee and the light breakfast. We managed to keep this routine up for years. Typically, my husband puts a lot more fanfare into it. He makes my favorite poached eggs, and I'm useless in the kitchen and just make coffee, but still. We have 2 types of teaspoons. One my husband prefers for tea, and one that I typically use. This morning, all the typical teaspoons were in the dishwasher, which I'd forgotten to turn on the night before. And I gave him the other type. He got upset. And although he didn't take it out on me, he went upstairs and didn't touch his coffee or food. I asked him why, and he said it made him feel unloved, that it was kind of a jerk move because I know how much it means to him to have that simple spoon for his ritual to get me gotten right.
So I put a prediction up on the screen from Celia. Todd will have lots to say about the spoon.
Oh, I do.
And according to Todd's mannerisms during the reading of that, "Am I the Anuse?" it seems like he does.
He's hankering to say something. He's a bomb about ready to explode.
What a baby.
What are you saying, dear? All right, I'm going to be honest with you. I was on his side all the way through it until the end.
Here's what she's saying.
All right. So Todd, I'm afraid you're thinking just like me. Go for it. Finish that thought.
Well, first off, she clearly needs educated on spoons because you don't have.
That's where you go first.
Yes, because first off, there are no two sizes of teaspoons. There's a teaspoon and a tablespoon, and she doesn't know the damn difference. So first off, poo on her for that. She was trying to give him a tablespoon. I don't like a tablespoon either.
Now, is the tablespoon the big one?
Yes, and you'll scrape the edges of your mouth. You'll wear off the tread on your jaw entrances.
Jaw entrance. Because, as we stated, it's all about ratios.
It is. Yeah.
No,
so that's why I was with him. Like, okay. So this is what C is talking about. I'm very picky on my silversware. It's got to have a certain weight, a certain
heft,
a certain shape. Like the part it can't be too nary. It can't be too bulbous.
Not too much girth.
Yeah, but the actual serving part of that spoon, there's not 2 different sizes. Correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but there's not 2 different sizes of teaspoons. A teaspoon's a teaspoon,
unless it's shaped funkily. Have you seen those ones that's not your classic spoon oval, but it's more like a trapezoidal shape where it's wider at the top and narrows down?
But it still holds the same amount.
It still holds the same amount, but the shape can throw your, you might have a partiality to a certain shape.
Yeah, well, but Celia, we've had this argument over the years. Celia thinks you should just be able to eat with whatever size device you pull out of the drawer. No,
sorry, Celia. I prefer the smaller spoon. Trying to eat ice cream with one of those big old tablespoons
or anything.
It throws off the whole ratio of eating and mouth stretchage.
The only thing that's good for is to add peanut butter to something. That's what a tablespoon is good for. If you want a dob of peanut butter, a teaspoon is not big enough. You need a tablespoon.
All right, I will say this in my case. A tablespoon is acceptable when eating soup. Not acceptable when eating anything else.
So you're saying, go ahead, Todd.
I was just going to ask why the soup, why are you giving the soup the green light there? It still hurts your mouth.
but that's
I see where he's
that's
going.
not it's not a consideration with me. But the soup in the tablespoon is the right rate. Again, it's all about ratio.
So you want more of a ladling effect.
There's too little amount of soup in a tablespoon or a teaspoon.
Okay.
I mean,
And I'll go the fact that if you're eating soup with a tablespoon, not only are you getting more soup, but it's actually not going full fledged in your mouth because you're just keeping it back and
right,
yeah.
right.
But if that's the case, just tip the bowl up and drink it.
Or you could be like
Or-
weenies and give the spoon for the chili, but you can eat nothing else with that spoon.
Oh, it's
because
got too much depth.
It's too deep. Yes, it's too deep.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
right.
Try to eat ice cream or yogurt with that.
It's a spadle. It's a spoon ladle. It's a spadle.
Yeah, and then when you put the frosting, because the Wendy's spoon is too depthy, and if you put frosty on it, and you've got a dollop of frosty on your spoon, you put it in your mouth and you rake it forward.
And there's
you still have a lot of ice cream left in the trowel there.
And you're trying to make shapes with the roof of your mouth you've never made. Like you're trying to reshape your teeth. You know what I'm talking about in the hood of your mouth?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean.
But then what you have to do is this trick. You got to flip it upside down and scrape it along your tongue.
Yeah. And see,
because you're right. Otherwise, what you do is every new bite of frosty you get or any ice cream, you're leaving the same old.
Yeah, you're making a sedimentary rock of ice cream. You're layering it,
or it's going to have some melty frosty in the bottom of it.
Exactly. But now, Aric, I can see where you're coming from with the soup. I still prefer what I actually do like with soup are the soup spoons.
See,
a different kind of spoon.
Love them. Yeah,
but
I don't love them because it's wider than.
I don't like when you go to a place and the soup spoon, they want you to also have your dessert with it. No.
Yeah.
No. No. I will eat my dessert with a fork. Thank you. Do not give me that spoon.
Yeah. Now I'll use a soup bowl from a buffet to go get my ice cream.
The dessert.
That's
right.
Yeah. Have you ever got slick and use the salad bowl for the ice cream?
Yeah. Those little dishes for the ice cream. That's unacceptable.
That's not acceptable.
Flat. They're too flat. What ice cream shape is flat? Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's wrong.
But she might not remember this, but I got chastised by my mother one time. We were at Ponta Grossa one time, and
easy.
I know, but this is when I still like Ponderosa before they start serving rat steaks.
I do like Ponderosa still,
but anyway, my mom kind of gave me side eye because I went, for my dessert, and instead of using one of the ice cream dishes or small bowls, I got one of those big old soup bowls, and I made a Mondo size ice cream. She's like, "That is not the right bowl. That's a huge." It's like I ate every bit of it, but it was an ungodly amount of ice cream.
Would she rather you gone back to the ice cream machine like 4 times?
I don't know. And I was probably about 13 when this happened. And a 13-year-old eats everything in sight.
Yeah.
So
now I tell you what I do have. We have a couple of them around here. They are teaspoon as far as the spoon part, but it's a little longer. It's a longer handle, and it's good for things like stirring a shake if I'm making a protein shake or something like that. Because it keeps up out of the.
Yeah, I know
mixture.
exactly what I mean.
Those are now, but I can never eat with them. Like I can never eat my cereal with them because my hand will be required to be too far away from the.
And then
bowl.
It gets unsteady.
It gets unsteady.
If I was eating. Yeah.
Same reason Say gets mad at me because I can't eat with the little baby forks. Well, if I'm cutting a piece of meat or I'm cutting something with the edge of my fork, I need a certain length. It's science. I don't know the science. It's like a catapult. You got to have a certain length.
It's a fulcrum situation.
Yeah, you're right. And if the part I'm using the side of my fork is only that long from where my hand is, I don't have enough leverage to cut my food.
And you can mess yourself too.
Yeah.
Because but on the other hand, if you use one of those Sunday spoons, the real long ones with the teaspoon on the end of it, can you imagine trying to eat soup with that? You're going to have like a 2-foot reach and try to get it that keeping that steady would be difficult.
And you're bringing up a whole new thing here when it comes to the Sundays. First off, if I go to UDF, which is my favorite Sunday,
Eric, what are you
I'm just laughing about this whole conversation.
First off, don't put my sundae in a shallow ice cream bowl thing. If I have 4.5 inches of ice cream
Got to
sundae
be in a
sticking up,
shake cup.
yeah, if I have 4.5 inches of ice cream sundae sticking above my cup,
It ain't a cup.
no. So, but then I've had him try to do it in a shake cup, but then give me the short spoon.
And you got to spelunk
The hell
down
am I
there
supposed
to
to do with
get.
that?
And you get ice cream on your hands.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, you get the creamy knuckles. That's not good. Like when you put your hand in there and you get the whipped cream all over you because the short spoon's too short.
Yeah.
That should be punishable by a fine.
So at least they call it the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah.
All right.
So back to this guy. Sorry, Aric. Back to this guy being the ass or not.
Well, but you've struck a nerve here.
Yeah, but I think we're going to be surprised with some of these
Well,
answers.
I believe that this could be the longest post by Miss Wilson ever.
Miss Wilson, glad
I
you're
read
back.
it.
She says, "How hard would it have been to take the one out of the dishwasher and wash it? He apparently goes all out to serve her special food, and she can't bother to wash a spoon that she knows he feels is important. I agree with him, and it's more about going that extra for the person you're with."
So it has nothing to the spoon is a metaphor. It's not about the spoon. It's about the connection.
Yes.
Where's the love, man?
I am team Miss Wilson until it got to the point where he kind of went upstairs and
Pouted.
pouted. I would have felt better. Honestly, I would have felt better. He just had a big knockdown, drag out fight right there over it. Just get it out. Just tell her what you think.
Simpleton, give me the right spoon.
Tell her what you think. Tell her that,
Beyond.
but to which I'm not big on that anyway. I'm more of a, hey, let's argue it out type than I am a, let's go not talk for 2.5 days type thing. So I agree with Miss Wilson up to the point where he went upstairs and was pouting about it.
So Celia says, "This has to be a man thing. My grandpa was the exact same way. The only difference was he required a tablespoon when he ate soup," which is what I said.
Yep.
Grandpa's a smart gentleman.
Now, this has remained unspoken. This was nothing I spoke about, but I just didn't like it. And there was one time the dishwasher was running, and we had a lot of silverware in it. And the only thing was one of Panda's short forks, like one of those toddler forks. And I had to try to eat something with that. And it wasn't the embarrassment. It wasn't the ego. It was difficult. My mouth's too big for that thing. It just didn't feel right.
I can't.
You would have been canceled.
Yeah.
Celia says the long spoon is an iced tea spoon.
Oh, those are fighting
We've
mumbles.
never had
man.
iced tea in this house. I love iced tea, and if you could only make me iced tea, you'd show me you care about me.
Well, maybe you ought to storm upstairs and not talk.
He's gonna take the microphone with him and head to his room. But that's pretty enjoyable. So can we? I think my vote was. Let's see. Wait a minute. I think he went too far. I was on team him until he ran upstairs and pouted.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this. There's a little bit of usury to go around in both directions.
Yeah. They're each a cheek.
Well put.
See, and I think this, as Todd said, I don't know, knockdown, drag out is strong. I believe this required a tongue-in-cheek argument. Like, how dare you give me this spoon here when you know I eat with this spoon? Not I'm yelling about it. It's a tongue-in-cheek argument.
Yeah, my knockdown drag out. I just meant have it out right there, as opposed to I didn't mean it should actually get physical.
You're not hitting the raw RKO out of nowhere on Celia over a spoon.
So we're not going to throw all the silverware out of the drawer on the floor.
No. I've never done that. Miss Wilson, congratulations, by the way, Miss Wilson.
Yes, congratulations. She says her comment is from a person who just celebrated 40 years of marriage to a person who definitely has spoon preferences.
It's a man thing.
I think it is.
Now,
It's got to be a certain way.
do you guys also have like napkin, paper towel type preference things?
I prefer a paper towel over a napkin.
Expound upon that. What do you
Me?
mean?
Well,
No, Todd.
that's the first question: is do you have a preference over paper towel napkin?
Well, you mean like when wiping food off my face? Is that what you're saying, or for some other
eating?
duty?
Do you grab a paper towel, or do you usually grab a napkin when you're eating?
Paper towel. I don't like the way napkins feel. They're too stiff.
I actually would argue that paper towels are stiffer than napkins.
Yeah.
The paper fabric might be thicker, but man, that crease on those napkins is so firm. And if you pick up the napkin and it goes because that it's flapping because it's catching air like a parachute.
But here's the thing: we grew up with the good paper towels. When they started making them half size and perforated, they've always been perforated. But when they started making the half perforation,
that was that. I don't know. Are you saying it's a bad thing?
No, I want a full paper towel because, much like my dad still to this day has a full paper towel quartered and folded into a square at his chair for him to put his drink on, and that's what I liked. I like because I could get by with one paper towel. Now I have to use multiple paper towels.
No, you just go to the second perforation and you get a full paper towel.
Well, no, and which is what I usually do. I usually go to the second, but I don't need that. If I go to the second perforation, I don't need the first perforation. It just gets in the way.
Well, okay. Can I?
Who only uses the half a paper towel?
I do.
I have. It, like for instance, I use just a little bit of one. Like if I want to wrap it around my ice cream, like if I'm like eating a like a fudge sickle or something.
No, wait a minute. Around your donut.
Thank you. Yes, that was a week and a half ago. Yes, I do that.
Brady's for my. We have half perforated paper towels now. Well, here's what I like to do, Brady. When I was growing up, you took a full paper towel, a brawny, and you put it under your fudge sickle. And then when you were done, you sucked the fudge juice out of the paper towel after you were done eating the fudge sickle.
I shan't be suckling of fudge juice from any paper product. That just sounds gross, man.
Well, the part that's touching the bottom of the fudge sickle gets fudge residue on the paper towel.
Yeah. I gotcha. I gotcha. But do you know what I'm talking about with the napkins, though? Like if you go to a birthday party or a wedding, and it's so square and it's so tightly creased, and that paper's so stiff.
But you're talking about a different type of napkin. That is not the type of napkins we keep in our home. I mean, the type of napkins we keep in our home are the same texture as a paper towel. No, they're just thinner. And
yeah, I just don't see very many of those. Like what I call restaurant napkins.
Yeah.
Like when you get one at a restaurant, those are fine, but those party ones are they're firm, man.
Let's talk about the worst hand wiping apparatus, and that is the cloth napkin at a restaurant.
Oh,
yeah.
Because you feel guilty about soiling it.
Well, not only that, but you don't really wipe anything off. You just spread.
It's ineffective.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly like the things they used to have in the hand wiping machine things at Eastern when you had to wipe your hands on the cloth thing that hung down.
Oh, your nether regions.
Why have we not all the things we can't? I mean, why have we not gotten rid of those in restaurants? Where you're just using a cloth that somebody else used 3 hours ago to wipe their hands off, and it's just been cleansed and dried and put back out.
It's considered high class for some reason.
Yes, yeah.
I'll use my pants.
Napkins.
Use my pants. The thing I don't like about napkins is kind of what Brady said. They get folded up in themselves, and you only want one, and you end up taking two because they're all folded, and they both unfold.
Well, then it puts you,
and you can't fold them back.
And then you're put in that difficult engineering position. So you got those folded party napkins, and you need a little bit more area, so you unfold the bifold. But then you're faced with the decision. Hey, this might not be big enough, but if I open it up to the full page view,
it's too thin.
It's too thin, and you might as well just have a membrane of nowhere between, and it just dissolves. So you have to choose between protection and area coverage. And that's a bad decision to make.
There's a couple of different pathways this conversation is going on. I'm still a little bit flabbergasted, dumbfounded maybe, that Brady keeps going back to the party napkins, like we're serving cake nonstop. I'm talking about the dotted regular. Say
Yeah.
That's the
Absolutely.
napkins that we use. We're not fancy enough to have a cake napkin for every meal because those do get expensive, and they are
do.
stiff.
But I'm just registering. I know we don't have them in our homes for everyday use, but I'm just registering my disdain for that kind of napkin. I appreciate the finery and the decor and the attention to that, but daggone, it's a crappy napkin. It's a crapkin.
Well, as someone who uses, I would say anywhere from 10 to 15 napkins every meal, and I'm not lying. Whenever I eat, I walk to our napkin bowl. We have a bowl of them in the middle of our kitchen table, and I don't count them, but I grab a stack about that thick.
All right. Do you throw napkins like you've gotten from fast food restaurants in the bowl?
Sometimes, yeah, we have those there.
Yeah.
My console's full of them because first off, they won't hardly give you one now at a fast food restaurant. So when you get some, you keep them. But
That's true.
But that's kind of why I've gone from, as a paper towel kid growing up, we never had napkins. Never. Like we had paper towels, to now I'm a napkin person. I think it's because I use so many. So it's easier to grab a stack of napkins and eat your meal than it is to roll off 7 or 8 paper towel lengths from the roll.
I gotcha.
Or
But
16 half preparations.
Yeah, and I do feel bad sometimes because here's what else I've been known to do. I hope Say's not listening anymore. I don't really put napkins back. If I grab a stack of napkins and I only use half of them, I typically throw them all away with my plate, with my food when I clean my plate into the trash.
Why?
Now you will be canceled.
Or I leave them sitting wherever I ate, and then the next time I eat, they'll be there waiting on me to add to the stack. Yes.
That's noble.
It's nothing to find like a stack of napkins on the back of my couch, just willy-nilly, just sitting there because that's where I sat them when I was eating.
So just a review, just to take you back to this. So we have talked about trail mix, spoons, napkins. This has truly been an organic conversation.
There were some forks in there too.
And there's some forks. I always mess with my kids at school. Like I don't have lunch duty anymore, but I would always tell them to go get a foon, and they said, "What's that?" I said, "Well, I don't know why there's a monopoly on spork. I prefer a foon."
Well,
and it always makes them think.
That brings up a whole. Why do they still make those cheap white plastic silverware? Who enjoys those? Those are useless.
When they snap off, and then you got something that can impale Vlad the Impaler himself.
When I start eating my pork chop with one of those things, I have a full row of prongs. By the time I'm done, I have one single prong, and the rest of them they could be in my stomach, they could be in the pork chop, they could be in the mashed potatoes. You don't know where they are.
You're just discarding tines all over the place.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse, the ones that snap off or the ones that just kind of bend like a wet noodle.
Yeah. Well, at least you have to worry about your eyeball getting shot out with those. But everybody knows the only plastic silverware is the clear plastic silverware. Indeed. The heavy duty, the hefty, heavy duty. I've seen some black.
There you go. That's what I was getting ready to say.
But I've also seen black that's just as wilty and weak as the white plastic silverware.
Yeah.
Now again, back to Wendy's. They have solid plasticware, even though the spoons are too deep.
It's like an almond color.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Or do they go black now? Is it black now?
They go black.
Do you remember when it used to be like an off-white, like a slight beige?
Yeah. A creme.
That was to hide the celery in the chili.
Oh man.
Did we decide Anuse or not?
I think she is a little. No. We split the Anuse, remember? It was
Oh,
a
yeah,
half and half. He
each
shouldn't
with
have
the cheek.
pouted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gained his cheek by pouting. If he hadn't have pouted, she'd have been the entire Anuse.
Yes.
Indeed.
All right. Sorry, I'm texting you, fellows.
Any other scenarios, Brady?
Oh, I mean, I have a ton of them, but we're an hour and 15 in, and if you win a game, I probably ought to shut it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Once again, visit the website, playitbyyourpodcast.com. Brady mentioned the isms. If you're looking to trying to figure out what we're talking about, some of these words we use, you can find them in the Urban Dictionary style listing there on the website. If you go to isms, you can also buy a soft T-shirt. We're trying to move the T-shirts.
Swapped.
Asking for voice messages for someone who wants a free T-shirt. Can't get a voice message. We'll talk about that later. All right. Game of the evening. Apropos for this particular podcast and certainly this particular night.
Off topic.
A game of, I can't see the fourth word. A game for those
slightly off.
Okay.
That would be us.
Well, I
All
think
right.
we're on, baby.
Yeah. So you will need a writing utensil and paper for this game.
I'll have to type. I do not have access.
Type. I'm not sure you can effectively type in this game. I mean, I'm serious.
Oh, really?
There is a time factor here.
I'm just not sure he can effectively type.
Well, that's true too. And certainly don't do the voice to text.
You can get up, Brady. We'll give you time to go get
Okay,
some
give me
paper.
a second. I do have a notebook over here.
Yeah, well, I can go through the game here now. Brady won't hear some of this, but so as it said, off topic for those who are slightly off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give our co-hosts a prompt. So I guess for lack of a better term, a prompt. So once I give the prompt, got the sand timer here that I'll turn over.
Nice.
Well, I won't turn over the sand timer until I roll the 20-sided die. Each of those 20 sides of the die have a letter. Okay. So when I roll the 20-sided die and it'll come up with a letter.
Gentlemen, I do not have a writing utensil handy.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Not
I would
in your
have to
whole
leave
house.
the room to get it.
Well, leave the room.
We'll go. Leave the room.
I mean,
wait a minute.
It's like
Save.
Get a piece of
Pay
charcoal.
for the save.
Did someone come through?
Yes.
Who came through for you there?
Katie did.
Katie. Good
The
job.
person, not the insect.
I just want to say, a katydid is an insect.
Yes, a katydid is an insect, but the actual Katie.
All right. So again, the game is I will give you a prompt. I will roll the 20-sided die. Each of the 20 sides of the die have a letter. And your task in the time that is in the sand, the sand hourglass of time, so go the days of our lives. You will have to write down words or phrases or whatever that go along with the prompt that begin with this letter.
Oh, okay.
And you have that amount of time. Like I said, can be words, can be phrases, can be proper nouns, can be common nouns, can be whatever.
Can we do a practice one first?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. All right. So the first prompt, things that are wet. TV 14, gentlemen.
Yes. Don't you have to roll something first?
S is the letter. Go.
We write as many as we can.
As many as you can. So again, the prompt is things that are wet. The letter is S, and the co-hosts have to write down as many things as possible that begin with that letter.
Do we get double points if we have 2 words to start with?
You just get the number of points that you have for words or phrases or whatever. Sorry,
Because like on categories, you get 2. Like if you doubled up the letter, like
oh well,
like bird beaks. If it were, if it were.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with categories to. I hit this spring up here and it's still.
How much time we got left?
Time.
Ooh. Okay.
All right. Things that are wet. Now, here's the deal, gentlemen. I'm not going to judge any of these things unless there's a challenge.
Okay. So it just goes by amount unless there was something ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Like
Brady?
if you said sand, I would challenge it.
Correct. Although
even though sand can be wet.
Sand can be wet. All right. Brady?
Okay. I have silt. I have salt water. I have slides. I have sharks. I have suds.
They're in.
I have sippy cups. I have snot. I have stones. I have shots, and I have spray.
Okay, that's 10. Todd?
I have salves. I have spit.
Ooh,
I have snails.
true.
I have slugs.
Yeah.
I have salamanders.
I see a theme developing.
I have sea slugs for 2 points, double points. I have Sprite.
Yeah.
I have soap.
Yeah.
I have skunks. If you wanted the challenge that with Brady, I would probably just give it up. And then I realized I put slick willies, but I meant wet willies.
It is a wet William, not a slick William.
So, Brady, would you like to challenge any of those?
I think I had exactly 10.
Yeah. I think skunk is questionable unless the said skunk was in a storm, which is very alliterative there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. Skunks would not be considered wet generally.
Yeah. And slick willies aren't a thing. So,
So,
Well,
Todd, how many did you have without those two? I lost count.
5, 6, 7. I had 8 without those 2, unless we're doing the alliteration extra point, the Kyle King rule.
I'm not aware of any alliteration rules.
Well, like I said, sea slugs, you would get 2. You would get 2.
I get it.
Now you couldn't say like 6 sea slugs and get 3 points.
Yeah. All right. So 10 to 8. And we're going to play 5 rounds of this.
I thought that was a practice round.
It is, but just
Okay.
to let you know, that's how the scoring is going to go. So I just put it
All
there
right.
just because. All right.
he is drawing. He's thinking.
All right. Song titles. The letter is B. So again, song titles is the prompt. The letter is B. And again, the way the scoring works is we just go by straight number of words, phrases, whatever. And the scoring will go, we'll play 5 rounds. So song titles. Time.
Shaq.
Man.
This was fast.
That was.
It was the same 30 seconds you had before.
Yeah.
All right, Brady. All right, Todd, you go first this time.
Blackwater.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Be My Baby or Be My Little Baby, but
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Aric, I'm looking for ass kissing points here. Babe.
Nice.
Best of Times.
Nice.
Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Uh-huh.
And Baba Riley.
Baba O'Reilly. All right, so was that 5?
6.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
Brady?
I have Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I have Barbara Ann.
Mm-hmm.
I have Barbie Girl.
Mm-hmm.
I have Barbarella by Scott Weiland, his solo thing.
Okay.
I have Be Here Now by Oasis. And I have
Wonderwall.
Wonderwall.
I know it doesn't start with a B, but I'm going to play it anyway.
Baby by Justin Bieber.
Also 6.
Can I just say, though, that I deserve that round because Brady came up with some absolute crap. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Oh,
Well, I'm not
Justin
saying it was
Bieber?
good.
Scott Weiland's solo project,
That was a really good song. Barbarella, that was a great song.
I mean,
Anyway.
I picked classics.
This game is about quantity over quality, obviously.
Hey, when I give you Barbie Girl and Baby by Justin Bieber, I'm not saying the quality's great, but I'm thinking bees.
So there you go. It's knotted up at 6. Say it, Todd.
Dog knotted up. It's all dog knotted up.
Yes, it is. All right. Next prompt. Foods that make your mouth water. Foods that make your mouth water.
Okay.
The letter is M. M. Foods that make your mouth water. Starting with the letter M. See what culinary delights that my co-hosts come up with. Foods that make your mouth water. Time.
This was a tough one.
This was a tough one. What a weird letter. Like what a food would typically be easy, but
That was a tough one.
yeah.
Brady.
Okay. I've got M&M's,
Okay.
mashed potatoes.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
You know I'm an Asian food fan, so miso soup,
I was trying to think of that one actually.
a mallow cup,
Oh,
marmalade,
Nice.
Oh, lady mom.
and maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
you should get a point deducted for mallow cups.
Make your mouth water for a different reason.
Ah.
So that's 6. Todd.
I had monkey bread,
Oh.
mangoes,
Oh, I love mango.
even though I don't like mangoes. Now, I'm asking for some leadway on this one because I cannot remember exactly whether it was Munchos or Munchies, but the chips that are
Munchos.
like Pringles.
Yeah, love me some Munchos.
I had Munchos written down, but then I thought to myself, is it Munchies?
I think they're Munchies.
No, they're Munchos. I promise. In the
Do I
orange
get
bag.
it either way? Because I
Go ahead.
okay.
I mean, either way.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Is that a
Mountain Dew?
food?
I mean, it's got enough sugar in it. It's probably got enough.
You're throwing yourself up for judging here.
I'm trying to be fair. I don't want to like.
It's not about fair. It's about winning.
Mounds.
Oh.
Melba toast.
Yes.
So
Mm.
you just spent 10 minutes going on about the little rye breads, and then you didn't give an answer of Melba toast. If someone challenged that, I would almost grant the challenge.
No, because nowhere does it say that we have to. It makes our mouth water. Like we have to love
There's
it.
foods that make your mouth.
I assume your means
your mouth. Not everyone else's mouth,
all right.
but not
And I'm not Odysseus, but I'm gonna pick mutton. That was my last one. Mutton. How do you like them apples?
mutton.
I'm not.
I like them apples marinated.
Beowulf, but I think mutton would make somebody's mouth water.
The big bad wolf, maybe.
All right. Brady, would you like to challenge any of those?
The one I would come closest to challenging is Mountain Dew.
That's the one I would allow you to challenge.
It can be frozen as a popsicle, so I'll allow it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I would fight to the death for Melba toast just because it's not something because somebody's mouth waters when they hear Melba. And if you put peanut butter on it with a tablespoon.
Melba is such an unpleasant word.
It is.
See,
it's a little bit too much like smelt or what's the other one? Smelba, not Smelba.
All right, so gentlemen, that brings up a good point though. Here's an angle to the game. You could say Melba toast with peanut butter.
True.
It starts with M.
Yeah.
That's true. The problem is it takes too long to write that kind of stuff down. So I think that needs to be used in our counter argument if we are brought up for
being written up,
challenged. Yeah. So I will get rid of the Mountain Dew because when I wrote it down, I'm like, that's actually a drink.
Okay.
All right. So how many did you have?
I had 6 without Mountain Dew. Because I actually don't like Mounds either. I mean, but I know that people do. It's a candy. It makes people mouthwater.
To be honest, I don't like mallow cups, but
exactly.
So here we go. 12-12.
Oh,
We're going to end
got
up
a
at
throwdown.
All right.
How about this? Can we make our own? If we end in a tie, can we do one 1 minute round as a tiebreaker?
Let's just go. Let's just go that we're not going to tie.
I'm trying to get the Kyle King rule in effect.
I know you are. All right. So the prompt is you shouldn't settle for blank. You shouldn't settle for blank. So you have to fill in the blank with a word or phrase beginning with the letter B. You shouldn't settle for blank. And the blank has to begin with the letter B. You shouldn't settle for blank. Word or phrase beginning with the letter B. Uh, 12-12 is our score.
This is not going to be pretty for me.
Time.
This is going to be a sad state of affairs for me.
Well, go ahead, Brady.
I think it's Todd's turn to go first.
Okay, Todd, go ahead.
Bad Girls.
Oh, that's a good one.
Bad Boys. Bad Pay. Brown M&Ms.
Okay, David Lee Roth.
Yeah, no kidding.
Blue Balls.
I don't think you have a choice in that, but go ahead.
That's all I've got.
Way better than what I've got.
All right, so you had 4, is that right?
5. If you count, if you let me use bad 3 times, I had 5.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
Different situations, man.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but it follows the rules.
Yeah. Okay, Brady.
Bosses. You shouldn't have to settle for one, especially if you've got a bad one. You shouldn't have to settle for a bossa nova when you clearly want a rumba. You shouldn't have to settle for Burt's Beeswax when you want chapstick.
Every one of Brady's, you notice it takes you got to finish it. You got to.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
hey. And you
All
shouldn't
right.
settle for buttermilk.
I'm surprised you didn't say bologna when you can eat ham and turkey.
I think Brady likes bologna.
I like bologna.
I don't
You
like
like
bologna. No.
Did you not even like to take a bologna sandwich, line it with potato chips, and smash it down into your bread with some mustard on it? That's that's good eating.
That's barf, is what it's called. No, but that's all I got. I had 5.
The only problem with that, Todd,
4.
is clearly you should be putting mayo on your bologna sandwich, not mustard.
I have never had regular mayo on a bologna sandwich. I've had Miracle's Whip. But I distinctly like depending on the meat. Depending on the meat, that's how I address the condiment. Ham gets mustard. Turkey gets Miracle Whip. Bologna gets mustard. Roast beast gets Miracle Whip.
What happens with pastrami?
I don't eat pastrami.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about tongue? Like cow tongue at a deli.
Chick-fil-A
What
sauce.
about your liver's worst?
Oh, gosh.
So, Brady, how many did you have there?
I had. Wait a minute. I had 4.
I actually had 5. I think for the
I have
first
5?
time. I had 5.
No.
Yeah. So there you go. There's
Bust,
we're no longer in a tie. Todd is up 17-16.
Here we go.
Two questions to go.
I got to go another piece of paper.
All right. The prompt is, honey, I blanked the kids, or blank the kids. The letter is R.
Arr.
Honey, I blank or blanked the kids. And the letter is R. Arr. So again, our score is Todd 17, Brady 16. If you're just joining us, our game is called Off Topic, Apropos to Us. I give the co-host a prompt and a letter in 30 seconds, and they come up with as many things that fit into that prompt as they can in 30 seconds. Time.
Oh.
Whew.
Brady, honey, I blank or blanked the kids. Starting with the letter R.
Ran over.
Okay.
Rumpled.
You rumpled my stillskin.
Roughed up.
Roughed up.
Razzed.
Mm,
Ramped up.
yeah.
Repulsed.
Yeah.
Regretted. Rang. And ran.
That's 9.
It's impressive.
Thank
Very
you.
impressive.
Yeah.
Todd?
You're not going to believe this, but if I get all these, I have 8, which puts us right back into a tie.
Yeah.
All right. Removed.
Okay.
Honey, I remember the kids.
Remember yesterday.
Honey, I read to the kids.
Ooh.
Nice.
Honey, I roughhoused with the kids. Roughhousing is it's a cousin to horseplay.
Yes, it is.
Growing up, I never got hurt. Dad, if you're listening, I never got hurt legitimately. Anytime I got hurt, it was because it was of horseplay. Horseplay was always the cause of getting hurt.
Yes.
Not roughhousing.
Yes. Honey, I ran off with the kids.
Okay.
I retained the kids.
You're not a teacher.
I roundhoused the kids.
Now you're definitely not a teacher.
And not the proudest moment, I Ralphed on the kids.
Nice.
Nice.
And any challenges?
No, that was brilliant.
So yes, we are back into a 25-25 tie. Or back
Look
into
at
a
us.
tie at 25.
How many listeners are still out there?
7. All right. Final question or final prompt. Things you do when it's warm out.
When it's what?
Warm.
Okay.
Things you do when it's warm
Things
out.
you do when it's warm out.
Yes.
Okay.
The letter is B.
Dadgum, man. Heavy on the B.
Okay. Things you do when it's warm out. The letter is B. We are tied at 25. This is the last prompt, unless we have another tie. Then we'll have to decide what we do with that. Things you do when it's warm out. Starting with the letter bay. Where'd that word ever go? Bay. Bay. Time.
I went down like a Led Zeppelin on this one.
My problem is reading my damn handwriting.
Todd. Or is it Brady?
I think it's Todd.
Okay.
Todd?
Bathe
Okay.
because you're sweaty. Busk because lots of people out ready to put money
Nice.
in your guitar case. Barbecue.
Uh-huh.
Bring it. Buy ice.
Okay.
Baseball. Basketball. Beach. Bale hay. That's it.
Is that it? 9. Brady, you have any challenges there?
How is it going to be brought in?
You tell me and I decide.
I was hoping you would ask.
I'm challenging bring it.
So there's a couple ways you can bring it when it's hot outside.
It's a good song title.
You can bring it like whatever you are in charge of bringing to the family reunion when it's hot outside. Like
I can't argue with that logic.
You make good baked beans, bring it. You're in charge of the brebs, bring it.
All right. Well, are you ready for my paltry, meager offering?
Yes.
I've got to give you my decision on the challenge.
Oh, well, go ahead.
It's thin.
It's paper thin, I might add.
Yeah.
It's so thin it can play hide and go seek behind a pool cue.
Thinner than an unfolded napkin.
True.
But I'll allow it.
All right.
Brady.
Bike.
Okay.
Break a sweat.
Nice.
Yeah.
BEE. Be chased. Because you know when they chase you all around, you're being bee chased. Beach. I had that.
Well, hang on. If it's not unique, how does that work?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I come up with the same things you can.
I did have beach. I also said baseball. And belch. Because when you're drinking soda out at a barbecue or you're outside at a gathering, you drink it a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, you get too much watermelon too fast, you belch.
Yes, and that's all I got.
So
Although I should have said bocce ball.
Total of 6 with no challenges. Todd, you want to challenge any of those?
No.
So Todd 34, Brady 31 is our final score. Todd's the
winner. That was a good game.
I like this game. Can I
look,
suggest?
Look who it is.
Oh my goodness,
Kyle
it's the man
King
himself. Speaking of alliteration, we got Kyle King in the house.
Waiting to see if we need to implement some bogus Kyle King rule to break this tie.
Kyle, you don't give yourself enough credit. There are no bogus Kyle King rules. They are all legit.
No, they are very legit.
There's the 10 Commandments. There's the 99 Thesis, and then there's the Kyle King
There's the
rule.
Magna Carta.
And the Kyle King rule.
The Kyle King rule, yes.
It's an idea and a document that is impeccable.
They all hold equal weight in our system of humanity.
So I have two suggestions. Suggestions for this game. I would like to decree.
Are you gonna critique a game you just won?
No. Well, I think that's the best time to critique it because it would hold less weight if I were critiquing a game I just lost.
Well, that's true. Go ahead.
I just want to see if you guys agree. I would like to see a double point system with alliteration up to 2 words. So if I say beach ball, that should be 2 words. I would also like to see if it's not unique, you eliminate it from your lists. That's the categories rules. No, like that's category. So like we both said beach, so both of us would lose that. We both said baseball, both of us would lose that.
Aren't we just playing categories here?
Well, sure, but categories is a great game.
But this game is off topic.
It's the poor man's categories.
Exactly. The Kyle King rule says that doubles count, and there is no alliteration.
You know what we need to do? Can we just do one more for fun, and then we'll call it a night?
Can we do a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do a minute. Okay.
20 seconds to even start.
Yeah. All right.
That's what she said.
or to finish.
we just dipped in the TV 50. We just like bumped it up to TV
18.
Yeah, TV 18.
Yeah. Reasons to break up with someone.
Please get me an F. Broken?
No. That would go beyond TV 18.
Yes.
The TVMA. Oh my gosh. F.
No, I demand a reroll.
Do you want me to re-roll it?
Yeah, re-roll it.
Yeah.
W.
Oh, wow.
Reasons to break up with someone. You have a minute. This is just for fun. Todd won the game 34-31. But Brady asked for another prompt. And it is reasons to break up with someone beginning with the letter W. Can't turn the die the correct way. W. W. And you have to say it like a W, not W. See, now we're down to 20 seconds. It's a long time. Long time for me to free base here. Free verse. Not free base. That's a different thing. All right. Reasons to break up with someone beginning with the letter W. Time. Brady.
Okay. There are 2 willful, whiny, wooden.
Are these 3 different ones, or are these all the same person? Willful, whiny, and wooden.
Well, these are reasons to break up with somebody.
But 3. I just didn't know if you were giving 3 because there was no hesitation.
No. Okay, gotcha. No, I'm just on a roll. I'm sitting on a biscuit. I'm on a roll. So anyway, willful, whiny, wooden. They're wacky. They're weird. Woof. Wayward.
Woof.
Willingly. Worrisome. Did I say wayward already?
You did say wayward.
And
I thought
wimpy.
sons could only be wayward, wimpy. Todd, do you have any challenges there?
I got to challenge willingly.
I'm willingly breaking up with them.
That's not a
It's not the reason. That's a verb.
Yeah.
Or an adverb.
That's
guess.
willingly is an adverb. Yeah, I willingly broke up with her. Broke up with her would be the
Read
verb.
the prompt again.
Reasons to break up with someone.
The reason I am because I'm willingly doing it.
No.
I challenge willingly. That's the only one I challenge.
I agree. I uphold that challenge. Willingly
Ooh.
willingly is the method of breaking up, not the reason for breaking
Yeah.
up.
Now, if you said willing to sleep with everyone I know,
Yes, that's a
Yes.
reason.
yeah,
That is a reason. Okay.
All right,
Boo.
Celia laughing until she cries at wolf.
I actually, well, I have a lot of the same ones, Brady.
Okay.
First off, I have was not nice. Wookie armpits.
I guess the question is, why were you going out with this person in the first place?
Well, I don't know.
don't think
They
you
never
know
had
that
Wookiee
instantly.
armpits. Yeah, they only had Ewok armpits when I met them. Wildebeest snoring. Sorry, Celia. Whiny. Brady had that one.
Yeah.
Waxing neglect. Wondering if I'm sexy. Wrangler jeans. I had wacky and I had woof as well. Yes.
Brady, you have any challenges there?
Honestly, no. I get him.
Well, it was tied at 9 then.
That is a very fun game. That's Aric. I would like to do that game again sometime where you can participate because that's a lot of fun.
That is fun.
I have one more decree. Can I or suggested decree? Can we always take it to 1 minute? I know it's a long time but I feel like
I don't
1 minute
know.
gets you like 30 seconds.
I kind of like it because it squeezes the spontaneity out of
It
the
does,
marrow.
yeah, but there were several of those where we only had like 4 or 5. That's. I know the spontaneity needs to be freshly squoze.
Brady, you texted this W word. I'll say it. I don't think.
No.
Well, well, if you wouldn't have said Brady texted Aric, you should have just come out with it as your own.
Oh well, yeah, I'm too noble for that.
I got one. Wendy's chili. How's that? How's that from Wendy's?
Or just Windy, Windy.
Captain Wendy. All right.
After she ate the Wendy's chili, she would be Captain Windy.
All right. Yeah, that was a good game. I like that.
That's the first time we played that game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order?
I don't think so.
Oh, good.
See, you guys want Aric to free base for a minute at a time?
Is
I might have a
freebase the
heart
right
attack.
term? Is
No, free verse is what I was going for. I came out with
okay.
free
I
base.
missed that. So freebasing is like actually doing drugs, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cocaine to be.
Oh, I like
Okay,
that.
Mama.
Miss Wilson has a great idea.
did I
Miss
miss that?
Wilson's idea is
If I play, the audience can decide challenge.
True,
Very
Aric. There's
good.
no reason you couldn't roll the die, give the and then still play.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes our audience doesn't like to talk though, and then I don't know how many people are talking.
Well, we could, along with the audience, we could still challenge each other. I guess
Yeah.
nobody would be there to. Well, we could challenge each other, and as long as one person in the crowd neighed or
They get to
yayed.
be an arbiter.
Yeah.
No, I mean, then don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing our audience because they don't like to talk. That's fine.
But you're right. We would need them to, like, at that point. Like, there would be no,
yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, we need arbiters.
All right.
All right, good game. Anything else?
I don't think so. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. So our audio version of the podcast, I always say, comes out Friday at 3 a.m. Honestly, I had set it up to kind of upload and all that, and it didn't. And I didn't realize it until Sunday night. So it actually didn't come out till Monday morning this week. Yeah, I don't know if that's worthy of a day change or not. If we should wait till Monday or just keep it at Friday. I guess we just keep it at Friday. It's what we've done all along. But
Yeah.
hopefully people can get time over the weekend to catch up if they didn't get a chance. But if you choose the audio version, you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app, and most anywhere you find those audio-based podcasts. Video-wise, also on Spotify, YouTube, search out the Play By Ear podcast for our channel. Twitch. Also search Play By Ear podcast, find our channel there as well. On social medias, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagrams. You can find all those links at our website, www.playbyyourpodcast.com. Interact with us via email, admin@playbyyourpodcast.com. If you want to leave a voice message, please, someone do.
I don't know what we have to do to get a voice message.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
But if you want to do that, you can click the link at our website or
Kyle,
all the
Miss Wilson.
audio platforms have a link as well. So if you want to do that, that's where you go. But please,
Celia, somebody voicemail us.
Yeah.
Can I throw another we said it earlier, but another special congratulations to Miss Wilson on 40 years. Is that what she said?
She said 40.
40 years. Yeah.
It's a long time.
That is a long time. It's impressive.
Very. All right. Once again, audio comes out Friday morning at 3 a.m. And we will be back with the video version. We got to talk about next week. It's Fair Week.
Could be difficult. Yeah.
Fair week, smare week. Not for me. It's not fair week.
Yeah.
So it is unfair for you.
And it was unfair for us.
Should we have a Brown County Fair episode part 2?
Dude, I was just thinking, why not live broadcast from the fairs? We could put GoPro cameras on and we can narrate the entire
in one
episode
week
we did on the Brown
in 1
County
week we
Fair.
can completely revamp our technology.
Yeah,
I just meant, like, if you guys aren't at the fair Wednesday, which I won't be at the fair Wednesday, but we could do a Brown County Fair. We've only done one Brown County Fair episode.
True. We'll discuss it.
Yeah.
I think Brady and I may be going on a field trip at some point.
What field are you going to?
Progressive in
Really?
Cleveland. Yeah.
Okay.
Might be going to a Reds game.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what day that would be, but anyway, if there's nothing else, Todd.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.